because from those 17,800 students come our future presidents, our future scientists, our future Nobel Prize winners, our future ambassadors, our future plumbers, electricians. You might think, well, that's kind of funny. Why would he even mention electricians? You know what? Electricians have to have a good background in physics, because all about how electricity flows up, through the wires, what is a safe voltage to have, all of those things are based on physics. Physics is one of your upper level science courses. So we want you to have success in life, and we want you to be able to be career ready, exactly what they mentioned earlier, okay? But we want you to be able to finish college, and then you decide the career that you want to go into. If you want to be an electrician, fine. If you want to be a president, fine. If you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, fine. We want you to have the skills to be able to go into the career that you want and to be highly successful for your entire life until the day you decide to retire. That's what we want. And I hope that I'm still around, because remember, I'm not young anymore. I hope I'm still around, okay, the day that one of you or somebody from Westaco becomes president of the United States. I hope I'm still around when somebody from Westaco wins a Nobel Peace Prize or a Nobel Prize for some great and marvelous discovery. I hope I'm still around, because I want to be able to say, you know what, that was one of our students that now is a success. But let me get back to what I talked about earlier. There are people, okay, there are obstacles in life, a lot of them. I had a lot of obstacles in life, a lot of them. And I had to overcome them. Again, living with family members, living with strangers, being sent just in whoever was headed in that direction or whatever, because my parents truly believed in the value of education. And I thank them, because I do have a comfortable living. I don't lack for anything, and I do what I do because I love to do this job. And that's what we want for you. We want you to love what you do. Now let me just give you one more tidbit of information before I get back to the same point where I started. And please don't misunderstand this, okay? It's just a point that I'm trying to make to let you know what your potential is. Einstein was a brilliant man. Almost nobody could match his intelligence level. But he said that we only use about 10% of our brain. So that meant that he had a lot of brain power still left, okay? And that ties into what I'm going to tell you. I completed my master's. My bachelor's was just an average, okay? But I had a turning point in my life that I said, you know what? I want to be the very best that I can be. And I made a commitment to myself that nobody was ever going to keep me from doing that. So I completed my master's with a 4.0 average. Does everybody know what that is? 4.0 average is a straight A average. Now think about it. This is college. This is not high school. In high school, I was a National Honor Society. I was an honor graduate. I had those things, okay? But in college, in graduate work, I got a 4.0 average, ranked number 1, okay? When I went to graduate school to get my doctorate, I was at the University of Texas at Austin. That's where I got my doctorate. The College of Education, because I have my doctorate in educational administration, was ranked number 3 in the nation. I graduated with a doctorate from the University of Texas at Austin, ranked number 3 in the nation, with a 4.0 average again. I'm not an Einstein. I don't have his intelligence level. I'm an average person. So if I'm an average person, how can I have accomplished a 4.0 average in all of my graduate work. Very simple. That person that I saw in the mirror every morning, I made a commitment to that person, and I said, I am going to do this because this is what I want to do. And let me tell you what I did. Christmas vacation, when everybody was out shopping, I was waiting for them to open the library at the university. And I used to go in there, take a thermos of coffee, okay? And I used to sit there, drink coffee, and study all day long until the lady used to come over and say, we're closing the library. Okay, thank you. And I'd leave and go home and study. The next day, very same thing. Christmas vacation, Thanksgiving vacation, spring break, weekends. That was my life. Because this is something that I wanted to do. Okay, but I made a commitment to myself. I'm an average person, average intelligence. I'm not a genius. But I was able to compete with the very best, okay, and succeed and be better than them because of the commitment that I made to myself. So again, a lot of people are going to tell you that you can't do it. There's a lot of people that are going to try to sway you and tell you, you know what? You know, why waste your time? There's going to be a lot of people that are going to try to bring you down. But again, as I mentioned, when you look in the mirror, that's the only person that can ever keep you from succeeding. You can lose every single thing in life, every single thing. But the one thing that nobody can ever take from you is your education. You can lose your vehicles, you can lose your house, you can lose your clothing, you can lose everything. But the intelligence that you have, the knowledge that you have, nobody can ever take that away. And earlier I had asked you about 21st century. Let me tell you what 21st century is about. 21st century is about developing the skills that you are going to need to be highly successful in life. Communication skills, critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, adaptability skills, skills that when you get out into the real world, because you're going to change jobs at least 4 times in your lifetime, because jobs will cease to exist. The body of knowledge doubles every 18 months. That means that the whole information in the world in a year and a half will be twice as much. That's how fast knowledge is building. So what are we going to do? We're going to give you skills. We're going to teach you those skills so that you can be successful. So that when you're in a job and the job ends and no longer exists, guess what? You're going to have the skills to step right into another job. You won't have to go back and be trained for anything else. You're just going to be ready to go ahead and go into another job. And you know what? If there's a job out there that maybe you don't want or maybe doesn't exist for you, you will have the skills to create a job that will be good for you. That's what we're doing with 21st century. We are making you highly successful in life for the rest of your life. 21st century. Now, I want the next president, the next ambassador, the next Nobel Prize winner. I want that person to come from Wesco ISD. And I hope it comes from somebody in this group. So, again, you can be highly successful. Nobody can ever keep you from doing that. You can be college ready, career ready, life ready. And again, there's a lot of people here, wouldn't you know it, technology. And there's a lot of people here that are ready to support you in everything that you do. So where are the presidents? Where are the future presidents of the United States? All right, thank you, sir. Oh, wow. And we are going to have some female presidents. All right. What about lawyers? Do we have lawyers in the house? Engineers? Engineers, where are the engineers? Yes, yes. Doctors, where are the doctors? Yes, okay, good, good. Oh, the ambassadors? Okay, there you go. Travel the world, right? Right. Oh, you know what I hadn't thought about? Do we have any generals, like 5-star generals that are going to go into the military and bring peace to the world? Hey, and we have some over here that are multitasking because they want to have multiple careers. Very good, sir, very good. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot imagine what pleasure it is to be your superintendent and to have people like the ones that are here today that bring programs that will help you to be successful in life. So I want to thank you this morning for that opportunity to be your superintendent. So thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Dr. Alejandro, for being here with us this morning. And students, for the next 4 years, as you move on into high school, a gentleman that you will probably be seeing a lot of is Dr. Alejandro. So again, we thank him for taking time off from a very busy schedule that he has to be here with us this morning. Next, I want to introduce our guest speaker for this morning. She comes from Canada. Now, when I think about Canada, I think about wide open spaces, snow-capped mountains, wild horses, cowboys and cowgirls. I don't know if she's a cowgirl, she might be, but we're very fortunate to have her here in the Valley, and she works for KRGV TV Channel 5 here in Weslaco. She's a news reporter, and we're very glad that she can be here with us this morning. So let's have a big Central Middle School welcome for Ms. Stephanie Bertini. Thank you.
Hi guys, how's everyone doing this morning? Really? Just good? Get up, shake it out, let's dance! Everyone stand up. Everybody stand up, please. I had to wake up for you, now wake up for me. Everybody stand up. Before we start, okay, shh. They tell me I have 50 minutes, and when you're in TV, you talk a lot. So they might have to boot me off this stage. I'm really happy to be here. Before we start, this is what I want to do all together. Repeat after me. I am smart. I will be great. I will make a difference. All right, let's do it with some energy now. 3 times. I am smart. I will be great. I will make a difference. Love it, love it. Give yourselves a round of applause. Woo! I have my notes on my smartphone here. And if you believe it, when I was in high school, these things didn't even exist. I was using like pay-as-you-go. My phone was about this big, not quite that big, but. So this is the world we live in now, and as we know, the world keeps changing. But the importance of education, I think, that's something that your parents, your grandparents, that's something that kind of, even in, tribal communities, we always knew that was important. Whether it was something formal, like a formal education that you get at school, or something that you learned in your community, or mothers taught their daughters, or hunters taught their sons as they grew older. We always knew that some kind of education was important. Would everyone kind of agree with that? Sounds pretty accurate, right? Don't say yes just because I'm saying it, but sounds pretty accurate, right? I can tell you this. Every minute that I spent in school, although maybe I wouldn't have known it at the time when I was your age, every minute I spent in school helped me get to where I am here today. And I really mean that. How many of you know what you want to be when you grow up? Okay. How many are not sure, but you have a couple ideas? Okay. How many of you have no clue? Just be honest, it's not a big deal. Listen, I can tell you this. When I was your age, I didn't know I wanted to be a reporter and an anchor. I didn't imagine I'd be living in the southern United States. I grew up in Canada. I'm Italian. My parents are Italian, so I'm first-generation Canadian. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I remember in 8th grade, or grade 8, as they call it in Canada, in elementary school, we had yearbooks. And I wrote in the yearbook, career aspirations, rich and famous. Now, I'm not rich yet, or famous, but I can tell you that the definition of rich and famous changed to me as I got older. And so rich is not really about money. It's about your experiences. For me, my parents afforded me the opportunity to travel. Through my education, I've been able to achieve the opportunity to see parts of the world I never thought I would have seen. When I was in school, I was able to go to the Middle East. I studied in Europe. And I was given these opportunities because I believed in what I was doing. When I was in school, I believed that what I was studying would some way lead to some kind of path that would be important, that would help me attain that goal. Now, the story of how I got into television news isn't really some great story. It was a journey. It was simply a journey. When I was in high school, I did okay, I wanted to have fun. I got B's. My mother will still tell you I got B's and I never tried, so maybe if I did try, I would have got A's. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about what I liked. And I knew by the time high school was ending that I was good at English. I always knew I liked to talk. I couldn't sing, my poor parents. And I knew that I liked people, but I didn't know what I wanted to be. So then the time came around and my parents always had a dream for me. I would be the first person from our family to go to college, to go to university. And when I was in high school, really, I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not really want to go. It wasn't that I was so, strongly opposed to going. I just didn't know what I wanted to be. My parents made me go. My counselors at school told me, you will go. And so I went to university, and I went in major undecided. University is very different. College, university, it's very different from what you experience in grade school or in high school. These are communities of teachers that they really care about you. When you go to college and university, it's basically everyone for themselves. There's professors in front of you, kind of like the way I am, and there's lecture halls, and they're big. And I felt like a little ant in between all these people. But there was something inside of me that wanted to be better than just ordinary. I can't explain what it was, but it was something that I felt. Maybe it was that whole I'm gonna be rich and famous in my head from grade 8. But I eventually put in a little extra time into the studying, started to get A's in my general courses because I went in major undecided. Second year, I decided I'm gonna major in history because I like stories. Who would have known? I'd be telling stories every day, much shorter ones, but television stories. And by third year, my dad kind of sat me down and said, okay, we're gonna have a talk. What are you gonna do when you grow up, Stephanie? I was about 21 at this time. And I really didn't know, but now the onus was on me. I did some research. I found out my university had a program with another college. And so if I was accepted, but only 40 people would be accepted, I could study to go into broadcasting and finish my degree the same time. And I thought, okay, if I can do this, I'll be at a school in just about 2 years. It would be a full scholarship. So let me try. And then me and the library, we became really good friends. And I got in. And the rest is kind of history, they say, because I finally figured out what I wanted to do when I grow up. And I spent the next 2 years getting ready for the working world. But what does this all mean to you? Really? Probably a whole bunch of nothing. You know why? Because my story will not be your story. It will not be your journey. You will pave your own way. And it has to come from inside. When I was in college and I told my professors in broadcast school, I don't want to work in Canada. I'm going to New York. I'm going to work in America. The TV industry is so much bigger there. They said, honey, that's not going to happen. They're not giving out work visas after 9/11. You guys old enough to know what 9/11 is? Just joking. That's how old I feel. No, but really, it was so far-fetched to them that they told me in school, set your sights on something a little smaller. But I wasn't afraid. And I'm still not afraid. Because I, at 27 years old, am still working on what I'm going to be when I grow up, because my journey is not done. I brought some props for you guys, as any good TV person would do, just to kind of give you an idea. I believe that anybody that's really successful, their education continues. This is a magazine. No, it's not Cosmo. This is a journalism magazine called Quill. I subscribe to it. This is just one little fragment of the way I continue to study my craft as a journalist. I already have the degrees. They're hanging on my wall. But I haven't stopped learning. This book, who knows what this is? Cracking the GRE 2013. This is a prep manual for entrance exams for graduate school. Right now, I'm getting ready to apply to do my master's online in journalism. Not because my boss at Channel 5 told me to, not because anybody told me that will give me any kind of result, but because inside, I feel like I'm not done. And this is important because you really need to realize right now today that nobody can tell you how to measure your success. Nobody can define what success is for you. You will define that. That will come from inside. And please, if you do just one thing, if you learn one thing from what I tell you today, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because before your teachers, before your parents, before your mentors, before your friends, the most important people are basically here. You don't have to go much farther. You don't have to go much farther, because you will inspire yourself. Your friends, some of them you might not be friends with in 10 years, and some of them you will be. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen down the road, but you will inspire each other. And that's something that you have to really try to understand. Try to believe that. If there's something that I would definitely say, it's that the grades you get in school, how well you do, or the degrees that you have at the end of it all, those things are not what matter most. What matters is the relationships you form, what you learn about yourself, the communities that you're part of. Those are the things that will define who you are. And those are the things that separate you from a degree, an A or a B. Those are the things that separate you from those things to a person who is smart, to a person who will be great, and to a person that will make a difference. Thank you very much for having me today. Please give yourselves a round of applause.
We want to thank Stephanie for being here. At this time, would Katia please come up? Katia Sanchez. Katia has a little reminder for Stephanie as she goes back to work. A reminder that she came here today. This is from the students and staff at Central Middle School. We appreciate you being here with us today, and good luck in your future. At this time, we're going to continue, and we have another important person in the house. And students, let me say that as you move on into high school, you're going to have many friends. You have friends right now, but you're going to continue to make friends as you go into high school. And when we talk about high school, you're talking about just a couple of months down the road. It's not like next year. All right, it's just a couple of months down the road. And one friend that you will have in high school is your high school principal, and that is Mr. Nieto. He's one of the best friends that you'll have in high school. He's a friend to every high school student, and you will get to work with him next year. And I'm sure he's going to have a lot of information as to what is expected of you, Mr. Nieto.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. Let's see, I know you've been sitting down for a minute, so for 15 seconds, stand up real quick. Stand up real quick. Stand up real quick. Stretch out. Okay, 5 seconds, sit down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. Okay, 8th graders, one thing that you have to be ready is high school next year. But like Mr. Perez said, it's a few months away. Ms. Bertini said that she's not famous. Actually, she is. How many of you watch Channel 5? I do. Okay, and I see her every day on Channel 5 presenting the news every day. And at that time, like when she was in middle school, she didn't know, like she said, that she was going to be a newscaster. I didn't know that I was going to be a high school principal or middle school principal like I was at Mary Hogue several years ago. Dr. Alejandro didn't know that he was going to be a superintendent. And Dr. Alejandro mentioned that there'll be presidents and ambassadors and lawyers and doctors. But also, we need leaders like Dr. Alejandro that leads the Wesco Independent School District. We need principals like Mrs. Munoz here at Mary Hogue Mary Hogue. I used to be in Mary Hogue. My fault. Central Middle School, right? Is this Central Middle School? All right, my fault. I apologize. I'm just used to when I used to be at Mary Hogue Middle School, okay? So we need leaders to be principals, to be teachers, to lead Central Middle School, to lead Wesco High School 10 years from now. When I was a middle school student, I didn't know I was going to be a principal. Dr. Alejandro and myself, both of us were migrants. That means that we go up north in the summer and work. But we still had goals for ourselves. We had goals that someday we would be successful. But what is the number one thing in order to be successful? Go to college, get an education. Education is very important. Never, when I was in middle school, did I have the opportunity for the superintendent, Channel 5 person to be here, and myself as a principal to present to 8th graders. Never. Never when I was an 8th grader, never when I was a freshman, sophomore, whatever. You have those opportunities. You have Mrs. Rodriguez that's gonna follow you to high school. You have many opportunities, but you have to take advantage of them. There's so many programs nowadays. And each one of you, like Ms. Bertini said, who is important? Me, myself, and I. You have to make those decisions. If you make them, then you won't have a problem. You'll be successful. Okay, I need 3 participants. Mr. Romeros, give me a participant from your class. One. Come over here. Real quick. Come up here. Come up here. Up here. Come around. Come around. Real quick. Stand right here so they can see you. Oh, 2 females and a male. I always tell you, or I always tell people that my father, when he passed away, he said, he did this. And I'm just going to give you, take $1. Or however much it is there, okay? Now, $1 to her is worth how much?
$1.
Okay, all right. How much is $1 worth
$1.
to you?
$1.
Okay, very good. How much is $1 worth to you?
$1.
Okay, very good. Now, let me tell you a little story and stay there, because that way you can be famous like Mr. Bertini there, your own KWES there. My father said, you have to work very hard to earn that $1. If you get an education, if all three have a degree, then they're equal. That means they can get a job anywhere they want if they have that degree. And it starts 8th grade. Actually, it starts in kindergarten. But now that you all have to take STAR next year, 15 tests, for you, if you want to be number 1, you want to be number 2, you want to be in the top 10, whatever you want to do, your grades are very important from the get-go, from your freshman year. Your freshman year is very important. So, if you get an education, college degree, you'll be successful. You're equal. Irregardless if you're female, male, Hispanic, white, black, if you have an education, then you're equal to that person. Now, who gets that job? When they apply, it depends how they do it in the interview. Okay? So a college degree is very important. Thank you. You all can now have a seat. You can keep it. That's your $. Save it. Maybe someday. So, I know that it's hard to sit for 30, 40 minutes, but I want to thank you for giving us the time to present. But remember, take advantage of what school offers to you. School offers you a lot. So, Central Middle School, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. At this, Mr. Nieto and Dr. Alejandro, if you will come forward, please. The students would like to present you with a couple of gifts, or one apiece, rather. If the students can come forward at this time, we want to certainly thank you, gentlemen, for taking time out of your busy, busy schedule to be here with us and address our fine 8th graders that are fixing to go to high school. So congratulations on the job that you're doing. We appreciate it, and we have just a few gifts for you from Central Middle School. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. One more.
I'm glad the camera didn't break, because then I didn't really want to pay for it, right?
Okay, we're going to continue on with the program for today. Mr. Nieto, did I hear you say 15 exams? Wow. Wow. 15 exams before you can graduate from high school. Students, if there's at any time that you want to get serious, it is today. You want to know how many exams I had to take when I was in high school to graduate? Do you see how the world is changing? Now, I've spoken to some of you in my office when you come by to visit me. And what's the one thing I tell you? High school is not a walk in the park. High school is tough. You have a lot of challenges before you. And this is why it's important that you take advantage of everything, every minute that you're in class here at Central Middle School, that you take advantage, because we have some of the best teachers in the district, some of the best teachers in Region 1 in the Valley, in South Texas. And they're here constantly, every day, providing the best information for you, because we want you to be successful, because they know that you have 15 tests and they want to prepare you for it. So let's give our teachers that are here a round of applause for doing such a tremendous job every single day. You know, we're going back to when, you know, we're in high school and decisions we make as far as our careers and so on and so forth. And I was very lucky to have a lot of influential teachers and principals and people in my life as I was growing up. And again, I also had this notion of careers as to what I wanted to do. And I had to think real hard, because I was influenced back in the late 50s and 1960s by, at that time, what was very popular in my generation. And I always wanted to be a cowboy. So that's what I wanted to do. Why? Because I was influenced by the Roy Rogers show, The Rifleman, all these shows at the time. So I wanted to be a cowboy. But as I grew up, I learned that the cowboy life was not really what I wanted to do, because, well, it was hard work and very little pay. So, you know, I had to make choices as to what I wanted to do in my life. All right? And after 36 years of being in the school business, I know that this is what, you know, I wanted to do, to work with students. And I've been not only at junior high, but I've been at high school. All right? So I've enjoyed what I've done. I'm still enjoying it. And it's getting tougher and tougher, students, as you go from middle school to high school. So again, we want to encourage you, because I think you have a lot of good resources here at our school, all right, that are going to help you be successful as you move on into high school. 15 exams. All right, that's a lot. But I think you all will be well prepared. You're getting all the information from your teachers. You're being well prepared. I think the majority of you will be successful throughout high school, okay? At this time, I want to call Ms. Rodriguez. She will have some closing comments and kind of let you guys know what it is we're going to be doing for the rest of the morning. Ms. Rodriguez.
Okay, boys and girls, what a great way to start our morning, huh? You know what's one thing I kept hearing? 15 exams. 15 exams. But you know what? I heard that and I thought, wow, that's going to be a lot of work for our children. But then you know what we have to keep in mind? How many people are here for us and care for us, okay? Not only do we have our wonderful teachers here at Central Middle School, and by the way, you need to say thank you to them before the end of the day for everything they do for you. We have our wonderful administration here that takes care of you. Your receiving principal has taken so much time to be here with you. The high school's looking forward to having you over. Dr. Alejandro, a very, very busy man, and he's here this morning with you, of all people. And our community, we have Mrs. Stephanie Bertini here supporting you. And there's so many more people here in Weslaco that care for you and want the very best for you. Today we're having a wonderful event. We're having the Central Middle School College and Career Fair. Great opportunity for the students. They're getting ready to transition into high school, and we want them to begin with the end in mind. Why are we going to school? what is the purpose of an education? And we had wonderful speakers this morning. We had our wonderful superintendent, Dr. Ruben Alejandro, here speaking to the kids about his personal life story.
One thing that I hope that they can get is that we want them to be successful in school so that they can have career options in life. We don't want to tell them that they have to be doctors. We don't want to tell them that they have to be lawyers. We don't want to tell them what they have to be in life. We just want to have them develop the skills that they need to be successful in whatever job or career they decide that they want to pursue.
That we don't know what's going to come in the future, but we need to be ready for anything was the key message.
But this is a good time to guide them and give them a little bit of insight on what to expect at the high school, especially now because in a forced test, now the students have to take 15 tests, so they need to be prepared. And so they need to know now, so that way when they become freshmen, they're well prepared and they know exactly what to expect.
You know, when they graduate, we know that especially this group of students are going to have different careers, and they're probably going to change careers 3 to 4 times in their lifetime. So we want to make sure that they have the skills that they can go ahead and be able to move from one job market to another. And if a job market that they're interested in doesn't exist, we want them to have the skills to be able to create a job market that they can be successful in.
We're hoping to inspire these kids by getting them out there, looking at careers that they might not have even known were available to them. Asking questions to professionals, what they do, see if it's an interest. So we're hoping today that an interest is sparked that could possibly lead to a future career for these children.
We have the very best. I'm going to tell you, the very best students. That's one thing that I told them. I said that the very best students in the whole wide world, the future of the world, is here in Weslaco ISD. That's what I truly believe about our student body. All 17,800 students that we currently have in our school district, I truly believe that they are the future of the world.
We need to do this because we need to empower our children. We need to give them the information they need to succeed, because ultimately it's up to them. They're going to be whatever they want to be when they grow up, but they need to know what's out there.
Nobody can keep them from succeeding if that is what they truly believe and truly what they want to do. So they can make a commitment to themselves and they can be highly successful, and nobody can keep them from doing that.